Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Wednesday the 5th of December 2018. I'm Darren Sinden and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @ds_Pepperstone. Okay, let's take a look at the overnight changes and price moves to be aware of, and I think we could classify the moves yesterday as a reversal of fortune. Euro, the pound sterling, both lower against the US currency. The Australian dollar falling quite sharply against the US dollar for reasons we'll see momentarily. The Japanese yen also giving ground, as did the Chinese yuan, which of course was rallying early in the week after the immediate aftermath, I should say, perhaps, of the G20 news. Dollar index for its part has pushed on back above 97 to trade at 97.18 shortly before we recorded the video, up by around 0.22% over the last 24 hours. Okay, well, what's on the calendar then? Events that may move the markets today. We've already had some interesting data out of Asia Pacific. It's kicking off with gross domestic product for the third quarter out of Australia. That was released at 12:30 AM this morning, and as you can see, a wide deviation between the actual figures and the forecast data. The first set of disappointing data we've had out of Australia for some time. Against that, at 01:45 GMT this morning, we had Caixin Services PMI data for November out of China, and there was a much improved figure there, 53.8 versus the consensus forecast of 50.8. So better news for the Chinese services sector. In terms of what's to come, we'll kick off the morning at 8:15 with services PMI data out of Spain, and then at 08:30 we shall have the first of the day's central banker speeches, and this one from one of the big guns, ECB President Mario Draghi will be speaking then. At 8:55 we shall have services and composite PMI data for November out of Germany, and that'll be followed 5 minutes later by the similar data out of the Eurozone, and as ever, perhaps the chance to infer something from the German release about what the Eurozone wide figures will contain. At 9:30 we shall have market services PMI for the UK for the month of November, and then we'll pause before jumping over the Atlantic to the USA for a speech by second central banker of the day, the Fed's Quarles. Then a pause till 1500 and a jump over the border to Canada for the Bank of Canada's rate statement and interest rate decision for December, and that'll be followed at 1900 by the Fed's Beige Book report. And finally, at 23:50 this evening, you can see foreign investment in Japanese stocks and bonds for the week of November 30th. Okay, well, breaking comment and news then that's caught my eye overnight. First of all, US equities have sold off sharply on concerns about the US yield curve and worries that the trade war truce will prove to be only a temporary solution. The Chinese yuan weakened on similar concerns despite a strong uptick, as we've just seen, in the country's service sector PMI data. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has lost a series of votes in the UK Parliament and has had to climb down about the publication of legal advice over Brexit, which she will now publish in full. The pound sterling has sold off as a result of those actions. And the state funeral of former US President H.W. Bush will take place today. US stock markets will be closed to mark the occasion. Okay, well, food for thought, something to take away with you into the trading day and beyond. And why not think about this? US stock markets remain skittish and driven by sentiment, it seems. The G20 euphoria has quickly faded to be replaced by concerns about growth in 2019 and a widespread sell-off in US equities. And I've taken the heat map here of the US 500 index as an example, just to show you how wide-ranging yesterday's sell-off was and how big some of the moves were. Amazon down the best part of 6%, JP Morgan down by 4.46%, Bank of America down by nearly 5.5%, and only really a very few defensive stocks, utilities for the most part, actually finishing the day in the green. So quite a messy session, and as I said, those euphoric moments in the immediate aftermath of G20 faded away very quickly indeed. Markets are closed today in the States, of course, for the presidential funeral. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Thursday's session when we're back online. Okay, please take a moment to read this risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you're in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of leverage products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative, and please do take the time to read this risk warning thoroughly. Thank you very much.